we live in a twilight world and there are no friends at dusk. So I've made a 10-minute clip of me and the man himself, Russianvids, having a chat. The full conversation will be split into 2 parts and over on the Patreon because, apologies guys, but I'm just having a nightmare with YouTube. It just takes forever to upload a video. Like this 10-minute video took about 4 hours to upload and 3 attempts. So yeah, I can upload a hour-and-a-half long conversation to Patreon within seconds. So yeah, apologies guys, YouTube is just not helping me out right now, but maybe I've got to try different things. Maybe I've got to try a better Wi-Fi, I don't know. But yeah, enjoy and come over to the Patreon, and hey, you can pay whatever you want over there. Okay, so we're probably going to have a little bit of a delay between talking because obviously you're in the US, I'm here in the UK. But mate, I really appreciate you coming on.
Oh, you're welcome, brother. Thanks for the invite. I'm glad to, and I appreciate someone that has a great following there on Twitter, putting out a lot of truth. It's it's good for 2 people that putting out a lot of truth to come together and put more truth out there.
Yeah, man. I mean, Russianvids. How long have you been in the game? I mean, you're an OG now. I mean, how long are we talking?
Literally, when I first got on YouTube in 2005, I think YouTube started in April 2005. I literally got on right when YouTube started. I somehow randomly accessed it, and they were playing, I could see old music videos, old TV shows. I'm like, what the hell is this? What's this YouTube thing about? And I'm looking around, surfing around. I'm but at that time, it was difficult because, the videos played slow. You had to wait for that gray bar to follow all the way through. A lot of people didn't have broadband at that time. Anyways, 2005 is when I saw conversations about 9/11, things that didn't add up, didn't make sense. And, prior to that, I was already questioning all of our society, not just news stories. I was questioning the education system, science, everything. Being a believer in a creator at a very early age, I knew we're being lied to at a very early age about evolution. So the progression to truth was it was a very easy one because, again, of my upbringing and just seeing things. I didn't know the extent of the lies until you get deeper into it and you see things for your own self. And that's why a lot of people can't see what we see, Les, is because they haven't absorbed, they haven't seen things with their own eyes. Mm-hmm. They're just assuming right off the bat, not everybody could be lying. Well, all the lies come from the top and everybody's repeating those lies. Just like the best analogy I have is like fluoride toothpaste. All the all of the CDC says, it's good for you. It's good for your teeth. It's good for your system. They put fluoride in babies' water, all these kind of things. So, all these dentists are basically just like the rest of society. They're just going along with the program, and they think it's because it's in the literature. Here's the studies. They take those studies that are on paper as truth. No way to verify these things. But it's the dentists that have been in the game for a long time say, hey, I see my patients with non-fluoride toothpaste, using non-fluoride toothpaste with better teeth than the ones using fluoride. So what's going on here? The ones in the game long enough finally come to the conclusion, hey, something's not adding up. And that's what I've seen with the dentist of 30 years. He didn't realize it until he was deep into it. So that's just an analogy, but it goes into the whole structure of society, of the lies coming from the top again, trickling down to everybody else.
Yeah, metaphor and allegory is kind of the best thing we got to try and describe this 5D reality we're living in, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the analogies are the best way to go. Allegories of the control system, and again, one thing I would mention too there is even myself in the beginning, I just didn't just jump into it and just claim things or hoaxes without evidence. And getting back to the media itself, even in the early stages, I said, are all these people in on it? And so I'm questioning myself on what I question. And then I'm looking at all these people all these people, forgot the guy's particular name, this one guy on CNN, he's no longer there, but he was on there. Oh, Roland Martin is his name. So I see this guy Roland Martin always on CNN way back when. I'm like, so he's in on it, and they're all in on it. So I need something concrete. Then you learn about masonry. Then you see them doing the Masonic hand signs. Then these people are handpicked. It's all these people in the networks we know are controlled, especially of course, like the Don Lemons, the Anderson Coopers, Dan Rather, Walter Cronkite. I made a video, of course, about Walter Cronkite being part of the Demolay Society. When he retired, Dan Rather took over. Guess what? He was part of the Demolay Society, a Masonic organization as well. So it's very easy to connect the dots. But like everything in life, everything is difficult in the beginning to figure out. If you're a mechanic or whatever you do for a living, but once once you dig deep into it and you learn the insides and outs, it becomes easy. That's the same thing to me when it comes to truth. When you really sink your teeth into it and you really are dedicated to it and you're passionate about it and you look at it all angles, it's very easy to see fake from real. And I said it many times there, Les, is where it's hard to fake real, with these fake actors. I don't know what we can say, what we can. It can be edited out later. But as far as the crisis actors, it's easy to see them. Again, these people are not professional actors, and they come off as very cringe with their phony acting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I want your thoughts on this, right? So I'm quite well known now for being the guy that went over to Ukraine lately. And what I saw was a lot of people, unwillingly knowing that they're participating in the role of a crisis actor just because they're believing what the TV says. So I don't know. What's your thoughts? I mean, because I don't think. I mean, there definitely are crisis actors directly paid, directly there. But I think sometimes there's a lot of people that are so brainwashed that they go along in the participation of the narrative and they don't even know they're doing it. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of other. That's a great, topic. Of course, you're there, feet on the ground there. But this is the way I put it. It's like the Rodney King case that I covered, that hoax years ago, where you have a fake. I'm not saying that some guy on the ground wasn't beat up, but it definitely was Rodney King through my analysis, close-up zoom-ins of the individual, supposedly Rodney King. It was a Caucasian man. So what I'm getting at, to be more concise, is through their fabrications, they're bringing in real thoughts through the society. So after that bogus setup with Rodney King, which happened, by the way, on March 3rd, that's the 33, March being the third month of the year, so you have your 33, the third day. So through their fabrications, they're bringing in real anger and real thoughts of anger within people. So people are reacting, like something is real's going down. So we know a lot of fake, phony stuff's going on, of course, with Ukraine. But because of what's being put on television programming, again, people are reacting like it's real. So you're going to have some real fist fights, some real people having a real solid stance on their beliefs with this. But we know they brought this on the world stage with the and again, I'm not sure if we can mention like COVID, or we can say COVID, or just we have to code that.
Well, I want to. This is on Patreon for now, so I think, yeah, man, let's say what we want. I think we're pretty safe on Patreon. Yeah, let's say what we want.
Good. Okay, so what I would say is, for example, with COVID, we can see the writing on the wall where, particularly in the U.S., things are slowing down. They're opening up stores where people can, not only stores, but anything publicly for the most part, except transportation, where you still got to wear a face diaper, a mask. But what I'm getting at, you see it kind of winding down a little. It's like they're being a little bit lenient with the restrictions here in the U.S. for the most part, anyways. So they're going to ramp something else up. When they're slowing down on one news story, it's about to conclude. Something else is in the works, and definitely again with the Ukraine and Russia. This is, and I played a video about it where you had, Putin years ago say we need a new world order. Then you had a parliament member from the Ukraine said the same thing. We need a new world order. So at the very, very top, they're all working together, if people believe it or not. But of course, people below the top of that, the apex, they're just going to go along with the program. Even people like, say, commanders, on the so-called battlefield. You know, obviously we know much of what's happening is staged and fake. And this is thing is it's been going on forever in Syria, Iraq. They've been staging so many things. Like, for example, with Desert Storm with Jessica Lynch, it's even been admitted that was staged and fake. It's like the Olympics where they're having competition, they're staging things. What happened recently, like with the award show with Will Smith, you know, and Chris Rock, these are staged things to bring attention. So I'm veering off topic with what's happening with Ukraine, but they love to, you know, they need to really spotlight things with their fabrications. Again, getting back to Jessica Lynch, for those that don't know, it was a U.S. convoy going through, I forgot exactly which city, might have been Basra in Iraq, and there's supposedly an ambush, and all this stuff's happening, and she broke both of her legs, but later on it was concluded that it was just a staged, made-up story for the war, and everybody have their. It's a reason, a personalized story to bring people's eyes closer and their attention to this their so-called conflicts. And we know that fireworks show, you know, in Baghdad, all this stuff, people are not going to understand it. You know, it goes too far and too deep for the normies to understand that these are made to happen. And I talked about it on many podcasts. Where the first casualty of war is truth. And that gets back to Saddam Hussein. And I've stated this many times, but it's worth repeating for your audience, where basically Saddam Hussein was supposedly captured. It was December 14th or 15th in 2003. So this is, you know, the time of year where there's no more date palms on the trees. And the problem is, you know, behind these moraines, you know, you see all these date palms with fruit on the actual palm trees. So this is literally impossible that time of year in Iraq. So it tells you that they filmed that segment for this fabrication of this war that they're going to bring in the summertime, because the last harvest is the very end of August. So literally, it's impossible for there to be dates on the tree. So we know there's manipulation. We know there's they're bringing these things on for the world stage, and definitely people will say, why would they? You know, people would ask, why would they do these things? Well, they got to control the narrative. There's too much at stake just to let things randomly happen. So they definitely have to control all these, you know, major stories.